The technique of the day would be darting mace. Okay, now darting mace is a two-handed wrist grab. So what in this case the opponent's not only grabbing just with one arm, but he's grabbing with two hands. So what we're gonna be doing here is this, okay? And I'm gonna demonstrate this on an angle. Is that in this case I'm gonna go right ahead and counter grab, and I'm gonna counter grab from the inside. Right as I do this, I'm gonna be stepping forward with my left foot as I strike right behind the elbow to possibly hyperextend the elbow, and then I turn this movement right into a punch, vertical punch right into the shin. So what I do here is that I grab, I strike, and then I go into a vertical punch right into the solar plexus as I go in a forward bow stance. As I cap, I go into a left hand sword, and then I step in with a right thrusting heel palm strike. Then from here I can cover out to 6 o'clock, okay? So I'll go right ahead and do this one more time. So here, so what we're doing is that you counter grab from the inside, you strike right behind the elbow with the forearm, vertical punch right into the shin, vertical punch to the solar plexus, hand sword right into the throat, stepping in with a palm strike right into the shin, and then cover out into a fight. Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna go right ahead and counter grab from the inside. And the reason for that, because especially if it's holding on tight, it's gonna be difficult for me to do a movement like crossing talon. So it's easier just for me to grab from the inside. Right from here, I hit right behind the elbow, right as I punch, vertical punch into the solar plexus, hand sword, then palm strike, and then from there cover out into a fighting stance, okay? I'll do that one more time. So here, so I step in with the left side, hit, vertical punch, clear side, vertical punch, hand sword, palm strike, and then cover out in a fighting stance, okay? And that would be darting mace. One of the things that, before I start explaining a little bit more about darting mace, is that the first two weapons to this technique are the really vertical punches. And we have like, horizontal punches, we got vertical punches. So one of the questions that we may ask, well, at what point do we use a horizontal punch, and at what point do we use a vertical punch? And the thing that we need to mention, and is clearly we do this in this technique here, is that you can do a vertical punch when you're punching below the shoulder, but you can also do a vertical punch when you're punching above the shoulder. And that's basically what we're doing here, because the first punch in darting mace goes right into the shin, which is above the shoulder. And then the second punch goes into the solar plexus, which is below the shoulder. But when we're doing a thrusting horizontal punch, what we want to do is that we want to go, or a horizontal punch, is that we want to be able to punch only when we're punching below the shoulder, okay? And as we do not want to do a horizontal punch when we're punching above the shoulder, because normally, see here, I got is shoulder high and my wrist is straight. Now the moment I start punching above the shoulder, I need to bend the wrist just so I can hit with my knuckles, and that can really break the wrist, especially at a higher level. So basically what I want to be able to do in this case is that, I can go right ahead and hit with with a vertical punch fairly high and still keep proper alignment of the wrist. And a good example that we can use is just really punching above the wrist, on the wall, excuse me. From here I can go fairly high and I can still have proper wrist alignment, even though I'm punching with a vertical punch, okay? So now going back to the technique darting mace, okay? Darting mace, we can say that darting mace would be the what if to crossing talon, okay? What if the opponent, grab you not just with one hand, but what if he grabbed you with two hands? As a matter of fact, I feel that purple belt, if there's a theme to every belt, okay? I would say that purple belt would be the what if belt, okay? Because when we look at, like, let's say the first technique, obscure wing, not obscure wing, twirling wings, that can be a what if to obscure wing. What if instead of the opponent grabbing with one hand, he grabbed with two hands by the shoulder, then we do twirling wings, okay? We have other techniques, like all the grab techniques, as a matter of fact. Darting mace Instead of the opponent grabbing with one hand, where you would do Crossing Talon, if he grab you with two hands, then you would do Darting Mace. You have long kimono, okay? Instead of the opponent grabbing you with one hand, what if he grab you with two hands? Then you have, in this case, twin kimono, okay? And a good number of the techniques can follow that, and that's why we can say that basically purple belt can be like the what if belt. So so when we do this, you know, when we're doing Darting Mace, is basically that's opposite to also Crossing Talon, but we can say that that could be the what if to Crossing Talon, because now instead of grabbing from the outside, I'm countering from the inside. Instead of bringing the opponent in a horizontal position like I do in Crossing Talon, I keep my opponent in a vertical position. So that would be opposite. But if we look at just the grab techniques, the wrist grab techniques in the system, and I'll demonstrate this with men. Okay, see, if I do this, this is the first technique, and that would be, he would do Crossing Talon and something like this. But now if I grab from here, then he would do Darting Mace, the technique we're doing. Now if I let go with the right side, which is now the grab off the same side, then he would do Gripping Talon. And then if I grab the other side, off the other side, then he would do Glancier Spear. So those would be basically the four wrist grab techniques that we have in the system where the opponent's grabbing one hand, okay? So that would be the technique of the day, Darting Mace. Thank you, okay?